Good morning student, I'm Rose. Today we are going to learn a new chapter, that is Standard 7, Geography, Chapter 8, Human Environment, Settlement, Transport and Communications. Okay, so these are the important things which we are going to learn in this chapter. Chapter 8, Human Environment, Settlement, Transport and Communication. So these are the things this we are going to learn in this today's chapter, and it is very interesting topic and you will understand better. Okay, I'll just explain it in a way. Okay, so first of all, in the last chapter we have learned about the natural vegetation and wildlife. Yes, so in this chapter you will learn about how the human environment are, how which kind of settlements, how they settle down, or what are the different kinds of the settlements you are going to learn, what are the different kinds of transport system and the communication developed in the modern world. Okay, so first of all we'll see what is settlement. Settlement means a cluster of different houses in which people live. Okay, settlement means a cluster, or we can say group of different houses in which people live in. Okay, so there can be of different settlements. You can see temporary and permanent settlements, rural and urban settlements, and dispersed and compact settlement. Okay, these are the three important types of settlements which you are going to learn. Okay, so first of all we will talk about what is the temporary settlement. Temporary settlement means the people live for a short time. People leave for a short period of time and they travel from one place to another. They travel from one place to another. They are not settled permanently. Yes. So the temporary settlement means the people who live for short period of time in different places. Different places. They always travel. They are also called the nomads, or the it is also called the nomadic life. Nomadic life means the people who travel from one place to another or always wander here and there. Okay, so these kind of settlements we can find in the hot and cold desert. Then you have the mountains, valleys. Okay, and these are people travel from this kind of settlement, or the people who live in this kind of settlement or this kind of temporary way, they always wander or always travel from one place to another in search of food and even for the shelter. Okay, so the main occupation of the temporary settlement, if we talk about the hunting, gathering, then you have the shifting agriculture. Okay, these are the important occupation of the temporary settlement, or we can say people of temporary settlements. Okay, next we are going to talk about the permanent settlement. Permanent settlement means the people build their permanent house to build in. People build their house to permanently to live in. Okay, so they actually they can buy a piece of land, or some of the people have already settled down in the villages, in the cities. Okay, so there can be they doesn't want to wander here. They will not wander here and now there, but they are already settled, or maybe they are being going to settle. Okay, so they used to build permanent house to build in, or we can say live in. Okay, and there are requirements, or we can say they have their own what we call there are ideas and requirements. Okay, for example, like we say they have the fertile soil, they are depend on agriculture, they are depend on, we can say, grassland, or we can say about they used to settle down in the resources, like we can say fertile land, what we call water. Then you have the agriculture land, grassland for the grazing of the what we call grazing of the cattle. Okay, so these are the important requirements when they settle down in the villages. Okay, next another is the they what we call they location of the while they are settling in permanent settlement, or we can permanently, they will see the location of the transport system, or we can say transport roads, animal rivers. These are the animal, rivers transport, like you can say goods, boats and sea routes. Okay, so these are the things they look. Then another is that they used to see for the open space. Yes, open landscape for the different reasons. Okay, so it can be in the cities or it can be in the forest. Okay, we can say where they can permanently settle down. Okay, so these are the three important requirements for the permanent settlement. Okay, next we are going to learn about the rural settlements and the urban settlements. What is the difference between the rural settlements? Rural means the people who have settled in the local area or in the village area. Local area or the village area. Okay, and it can be these are the this rural settlement and urban settlements are both connected to each other. Okay, so this rural settlement means we can say the rural area or in the village area, the settlements which are done in the village area, or we can say in the village. Okay, which are these both are permanent settlement. That means the people who have settled down in the villages, and the people urban means the people who are settled down in the cities. Okay, and the main occupation of the rural settlements, if we talk about, they engage in the primary activities, like we can say agriculture, then you have the mining, animal rearings, then dairy farming, fishing. These are the important occupation of the rural settlements. Okay, and this kind of occupation are also called the primary activities. And if you talk about the urban settlement means the people who have already settled down in the cities, and these settlements have involved in the trading, then you have the transport, industrial production, defense, administration, and cultural recreation. Okay, so these are the important activities done in the urban settlements. Okay, and this type of activities, like what we call trade, then you have the transport, industrial production, defense, administration, cultural recreation. These activities are also called the secondary or tertiary activities. Why? Because when the primary activities like farming and agriculture productions comes to the city, okay, in the urban settlements here are being recreated or modernized into, or we can say produced into different things. For example, wheat. Wheat is a agricultural production from which comes from the rural environment. Yes, rural settlement. And what happened? This wheat, when it comes to the secondary activities, or when it goes to the urban settlement, what happened? This wheat is being converted into even a flour. This flour is again converted into bread. Yes, so they can say that this urban settlements can be also known as the secondary and the tertiary activities. Okay, so that means both rural and urban settlements, as I told you, both are dependent on each other. They are connected with each other. Okay, for the vegetables, for the fruits, for the fooding, for the milk, for the raw materials. Okay, for the entertainment, for the employments. Okay, so these both are connected with each other. Next, we are going to learn about the dispersed and compact settlements. Okay, so dispersed means scattered way of settlement. We can say the houses which is built in different places. Okay, different area. Or we can say one house. The distance between one house is 1 meter or more than that. Okay, so this can be found in the highlands. Then you have the desert and farmland. Okay, so these kind of settlement, this dispersed type of settlements can be found in the farmland, highland, desert area. Okay, that means in a scattered way. That means the one house can be here, another house can be more than 1 kilometer away, or we can say half kilometer. Okay, this type of settlement we called as the dispersed settlement. Okay, so And as I have told you, these are spread in a area. Okay, different few houses are there, though it is not congested, it is not compact. That means we can say it is scattered or spread out in a different area. Okay, so this first type of settlement is, we can say, they live in a very simple life. They live in a very simple lifestyle. Okay, and quiet lifestyle. Now if we talk about the compact settlements means, we can say, houses are being built or we can say nucleated, what we call together, or we can say in a compact way. The distance between the house is not far away, it is very near to each other. Very near to each other. We can see in the cities itself. Okay, so we can say the compact type, we can say this, we can see in the urban areas and in the river valleys. We can find in the urban areas and the river valleys. Okay, so this type of settlements we can find in the river areas and the urban areas, means urban settlement we can find. Okay, so this is what, and this type of settlement, we can say, as I told you, the houses which are built are, we can say, close to each other, very close to each other. Okay, and we can say in this type of settlements we can find the schools, then you can hospitals, colleges, markets and temples. We can find this kind of settlement. So this is how the different kinds of settlements we saw. Next we are going to learn about the transport system. Okay, actually what is the transport? That means by which people or the goods are moved from one place to another. Transport means means by which people or goods are transport from one place to another. That is called the transport. Okay, there are four ways of transport: roadways, railways, airways and waterways. Okay, first of all we will talk about the roadways. These roadways are very vital role in our daily life, and we use it for the various purpose. Yes or no? It can be of two types: metals and non-metals. Metal and non-metals. We can see the metal, like we can see the road or highway which you see, that is called the metal roads, and unmetal roads, the kacha roads which you see in the villages, Okay, and these are constructed, what we call this roadways can be found in different areas. In the desert we can find, in the mountain areas we can find, the dense forest we can find, and desert. Okay, so it is being connected with the connected in sufficient network of roads. Okay, so this is how the roadways is. Okay, and we can see, if you talk about our India, I have four golden quadrilateral highway. Okay, which we can say which joins the Delhi, four metropolitan city like Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai and Chennai. Okay, so these are the important metropolitan city which is being connected by the roadways, which is road highway, which is called the golden quadrilateral roads. Okay, next we are going to talk about the railways. Railways is more important, what we call in today's world. It is very more important in our life. Yes or no? It is very useful for the transportation of bulk and the bulk of goods, and for the traveling of the people. Okay, so it is the replacement of the steam engines. It is the replacement of the steam engines, and it has been replaced in the form of a electric and diesel locomotives. Yes, railways. Okay, and in the metropolitan city there are metro railways or mono railways. Yes, mono railways, which metro means, we can say, the railways which run underground, and monorails means, we can say, what we call, it is advanced in Germany and Japan. Okay, so it is a fastest means of communication, fastest means of transportation. Okay, so this is how the railways is. Airways is we'll talk about. Okay, this is the fastest means of transport, and we can say what we call it. They are costly because high cost of the fuels. Okay, this is the fastest means, and we can say it is higher and cheap. We can say higher price, because due to the oil which is used in the aeroplanes is very costly. Due to that, we can say transport transportation system is so much high. Okay, but there are so much demerit is there, because due to the weather condition, if the bad weather is there, you cannot travel. You cannot travel. Okay, so it depends on the weather conditions. Okay, so next we are going to talk about is the waterways. Waterways is the cheap means of transport. Okay, and we can say it attracts the tourists so much, and due to the scenic beauty and the suspense sometimes in the sunny beaches. Okay, so this is the what we call, this is the cheapest means of transport, and it is of two types: inland waterways and oceanic or sea routes. Okay, inland waterways, if you talk about the ship which run in the seas and inside any countries, like I say in the largest river like Ganga Brahmaputra river or Amazon river or Zain Basin. Yes, these are the Nile in North Africa. Okay, so in this the area, in this water, in this river, where the ships run from one side to another side of the river is called the inland waterways. And sea and oceanic, you know what is that, yes or no? The ship which travel in the oceans, which is uses for the transportation of different goods and even the passengers. Okay, so these are the four means of transport you learn. Okay, next we are going to learn about is the communication. Communication you have learned in from the junior classes. What is communication? Okay, so communication is the process of sending a messages and ideas to one person to another. Okay, it is the sending of messages and ideas from one person to another, and we can say along with the transport system, along with the, that means along with the transport system, and even the communication systems are developed in a various way. That means it has made the human life so much easy, yes or no? For example, if you want to talk in the olden days, the people have to travel from one place to another to transfer any message, yes or no? For example, king goes to another, whatever message it was, they have to travel, yes. But in today's world, you cannot, due to the modernization of the communication system, you can sit and send any messages, you can talk with any people of the world by sitting at one place. Okay, so this is what is the changes happen in the 20th centuries. Okay, so we can say that, and these are the system which is used for the communication system are the internet, computers, mobile cell phones. Then you have the faxes, okay, emails, okay, through which you can communicate with the people, Okay, so this is, and this what we call in this satellite is also helping in search for the minerals rather than oil exploration, because this communication system is connected with the satellite, so it is very helpful for the exploring of different things in the earth surface. Okay, next we are going to talk about is the global society. Global society means, we can say in the late 20th century there has rapid development in different fields, yes or no? Development in transport and communication system mainly, yes or no? You can see now different kinds of transport system, you can see the different kinds of communication system, yes. So due to that, what happened, they have so much closer contact between the people. They have closer contact between the people of different worlds, yes or no? Different countries, yes or no? Due to that, what happened? There is a development in political, economic, and the cultural fronts. There is a development between the political, social, and economic and cultural fronts. And this type of communication, this type of contact have given us the trading connection between the different countries of the world, yes or no? So the strengthening of international relationship and the contact between the people of different countries is also called the globalization. That is also called the globalization. Okay, so mainly this globalization is actually a contact between the people of different world through the trading system, through the different treaties, or the treaties of we can say economic trading between the different countries. Okay, so this is what we call the globalization. Okay, so this this globalization make the countries, different countries to live in peace and harmony. Peace and harmony, or we can say that it helpful for the different countries. For example, you can say that in a defense, if we talk about the India is trading with the defense equipment from the UK. Yes or no? United Kingdoms. Okay, then you have the America. America is doing a very important work, like it's helping the different poor countries by giving the different resources. Yes or no? So these are the different connections and these different helpful connections between the different countries. Okay, so this is what we can say. Sometimes it works as a NGOs. It works as a NGOs. So this is how it makes us to strengthen between, or we can say make the global society, or we can say important what we call global society to grow more and more in different ways. And this helps us to strengthen between, we can say it makes the different countries to live in peace and harmony. Okay, so I hope you have understood this chapter. Okay, and maybe you'd go through the chapters thoroughly, read the chapters line by line. Okay, thank you.